Where are Tottenham going to go? They play Coventry tonight in the Carabao Cup, and we know that Tottenham manager Ange Postecoglou, straight after losing the North London derby to Arsenal at the weekend by a single goal to nil, said, yeah, in my second season, it's pretty normal that I go on and win something.
You said at the start of the season, the first campaign really about setting principles, getting your message across. The second campaign, you normally win. Are you seeing enough in this side that this season you do think that they will be a side that can win? I'm talking silverware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competing right at the top.
Am I going to answer the question, or are you going to keep asking it? No, absolutely. And I think I'll correct myself. I don't usually win things. I always win things in my second year. Nothing's changed.
And you're confident you can do that with this side? You're seeing enough?
Well, I just said it now, so I don't say things unless I believe them.
So that's what Ange said straight after the North London derby. So as you'd expect, this subject matter came up yesterday ahead of tonight's Carabao Cup match against Coventry. And he was asked, would he really consider it a failure if they don't win a trophy this season?
Yes. I failed last year in my head because that's how I'm geared. Okay, I think I've made it pretty clear what my expectations are. Now, but that doesn't mean that I stop. You know, that just fuels the fire of why didn't I do it? You know, why didn't we achieve last year? Why didn't we win something last year? That gets me going for this year. And this year it's about, progress. So that's been my whole career. So I have that, that's my foundation. That's what I keep saying to people. That's why I'm sitting here. Like, there's no other way I could have got here. No chance. In any universe, I could have got here from Australia, be sitting here answering questions from you, one of the biggest clubs in the world, in the best competition in the world, if I didn't have some sort of self-belief based on something of substance. I wasn't going to get here with my charm and good looks, mate. So I'm willing to be measured against that. That means that I'm fair game. And again, I've never said not to. I'm happy to be sort of judged against that standard because that's my standard. That's what I've done in the past. And I don't want to dilute that because then I miss the opportunity of continuing the road that I've been on. So I have no problems with people sort of using that as a yardstick.
When I listen to that back, Simon, he has to be admired. I like the way, I'll put my neck in the line. Yeah. I said it. I'll say it again because I believe it.
And it's interesting because I watched out of curiosity a while ago, about 2 weeks ago, an interview he did with Craig Foster on Australian TV when he was the under-21 or the youth team manager of Australia, where he was coming in for some really serious criticism. And he doesn't like it when he's put on his toes, Ange. He doesn't. He gets quite prickly.
Not many do.
Well, I'm an animal that runs towards the fire. Most people run away from it, so that sort of stuff wouldn't bother me. But the point is that he has a mentality. He's opened certain doors. I think there's a part of him that's engaging in a sort of peeing competition with the media because he doesn't like the way the questions are being framed of him. But there's also another part of him that is I think he's trying to take an argument away, because if he talks down the Tottenham opportunity, he's going to be accused of lack of ambition. And ultimately, what is it that Tottenham are going to achieve under a manager like him? If he talks up the opportunity, he's putting himself as a hostage to fortune. So he can't win, so he might as well go hard or go home. And at this moment in time, he needs to win things to be able to overcome the argument, because the endless argument is Levy's rubbish, no one wins anything underneath Daniel Levy, and Tottenham as a football club haven't won anything for 16 years. So that's the ultimate conversations. So he's going to run the risk and the gauntlet, and I think because of his background and the journey that he's gone on, which he talks about, which is I wouldn't have got where I am from Australia to where I am now, which is one of the biggest football clubs in world football, if I didn't back myself. He may well back himself into a corner because like the set piece thing. He really didn't say that set pieces weren't that important. He said in the great scheme of things, I've got other things to worry about as well. But now it's a set piece that's going to whack him around the head. Every time someone scores a set piece against him, it's because Ange don't pay attention to it. And now what's going to happen is, because he wants to go after the argument that I believe we can win something and that's my job and I fail if I don't, that will be weaponised against him. The interesting thing is, what can Tottenham do? Not what do they want to do, what can they do? What is it that Tottenham can do? Can they win a League Cup? Well, I think they can. Could they win an FA Cup? Yes, they can. Could they go deep in the Europa League? Yes, they can. Can they win a Premier League? Not a chance. Can they get in the top four? 50-50. It's what measurement you put upon it. And Ange needs to be a bit more realistic to some extent about what is a success level at Tottenham Hotspur.
There's a lot to like about Ange. And ultimately will be judged on the pitch. But Tottenham fans obviously have gone from having a certain style and begging for a different style, which they got last season. There was a lot of good things about last season. I think the negativity after the result to Arsenal is exaggerated. I think it's unfair. What is he supposed? He's trying to build a Tottenham team that has good control of games and plays attacking football. Right, he's done that. Okay, what's the problem at the minute? The problem is the front players they've got aren't producing in the final third, because I was at the Leicester game, I saw the Newcastle game, and I saw the Arsenal game. And they get to the final third better than most and control the tempo of all the games they play in, more or less. Yeah. More possession, more domination. Their front players have got to stand up and be counted and do better. Otherwise, they're going to struggle. The one bit of criticism I'd have for Ange is that on set plays, and I don't know who's doing them for him, they've got a goalkeeper who's scared to death to come off his line. And the players around him are struggling with it, and it's having an effect on them as well. And some of the simple things you see, like Romero defending with his back to the ball, is something you work on with 12-year-olds. Yeah. So who's doing his set plays? Doesn't matter who's doing it, but someone's got the goalkeeper's a problem for them at the moment, a big problem. But the bigger problem right now is getting his front players, and he's got lots of them, to do better and stand up and be counted. Because they are playing some good stuff.
But are they good enough? I mean, you look
I
at
think
the players,
Solanke, let's give Solanke a chance, because he's only started 2 games.
Son
and I think he'll be all right. Son's off it a little bit. Brennan Johnson's flattering to deceive. Werner, I don't know why they signed him, because his end product's poor.
Yeah.
Odebear's got a chance, but he's young and needs time. And you're right, Son for his levels, his standard.
You see, where he's been before, Danny, he could do that. He could stick his neck out and say, this season I will win something. At South Melbourne, with the Australian under-17s, with the Australian under-20s, with Brisbane Roar, with the Australian national team, and with Yokohama Marinos.
Celtic.
And certainly at Celtic, won for fun. Now it's Tottenham, who've forgotten how to win something.
But as Simon said, what would you rather? The opposite.
They can win the Europa League.
They can.
Yeah, they can win the Europa League.
He could play it all down and say, well, let's see how we go. I'm trying to work on it.
But he'll get killed for that.
Exactly.
They can win the Europa League. There's no Champions League sides dropping into the Europa League, making it muddy in the waters. Spurs can win the Europa League.
Okay, and there's a message that goes along that line. Never underestimate the power of positive thinking. Ange is doing just that. Well, we'll see. Maybe Coventry have other ideas. Danny, thank you so much.
Pleasure as always.
Danny Murphy with us this lunchtime. As for you,
he's back tomorrow, isn't he? Oh no, he's on Drive, isn't he?
Oh, you're doing Drive as well?
Are you, mate?
Well, it feels like other shows and other producers see the good things in me more.
The omnipresent Danny Murphy. We're back tomorrow at 10.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.